ख़वातीन की मईशत में और मुख्तलिफ़ कारोबारी इदारों में जो शमूलियत है और उनकी तरक्की, उस हवाले से एक बड़ा ज़बरदस्त इनिशिएटिव है मेल्स चैम्पियंस फॉर चेंज, और इस चैम्पियंस फॉर चेंज इनिशिएटिव को लीड कर रही हैं फ़िज़ा फ़रहान साहिबा, जो कि इसकी कन्वीनर हैं। वो आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं और उनके साथ मौजूद हैं फ़िलिप मॉरिस पाकिस्तान के CEO रोमन याज़बेक। इनसे हम बात करते हैं कि कैसे ख़वातीन इदारों में आगे बढ़ सकती हैं और कैसे उनको फैसिलिटेट किया जाए। वेलकम टू द शो बोथ ऑफ यू।
थैंक यू सो मच।
बहुत शुक्रिया, आप दोनों ने वक्त निकाला। सो फर्स्टली वी वुड लाइक यू रोमन to comment about the Phillip Morris Pakistan's approach towards diversity, how to create inclusive space both for men and women.
Certainly. Phillip Morris International, which is our main company, is going through a profound transformation. At the core of this transformation, we have sustainability, and part of sustainability is having a diverse and inclusive culture. We believe in it, and when you believe in something, you make it happen, and that's what we've started doing also in Pakistan. Back in 2018, we were certified to have equal salary, so for the same job, whatever gender, race, religion, there's an external company which certifies our payroll that for the same job, everybody would get exactly the same salary. So those are things which are quite substantial. And we continue in this direction to believe that also a gender gap is a talent gap, and we need talent, and everybody competes for talent. So at Phillip Morris International, 40%, 39.7 to be accurate, of managerial position globally are with females. In Pakistan, we are at 25, but both are growing, and we're very, very proud of this. Okay, great. So Fiza, can you tell us about some of the leading best practices that are being adopted by private sector for women empowerment?
Well, so you'll be surprised. I've been working in this space for a while, in the private sector space. Earlier, this issue was always something which was a social cause, which was a CSR cause, which was something to discuss on International Women's Day by woman to woman in a mentoring speech on Women's Day with a picture taken up. Now the whole theme has transitioned when people have realized that it's actually a business case. Why so? Because internationally, for example, McKinsey has come up with the report, the Gender Pay Parity Report, which primarily suggests that empowering women in organizations is not a social issue anymore. It's not a feminist issue anymore. It's a pure economic case. It's a pure business case. Companies that have more female on their boards in leadership positions outperform companies that do not by 26%. So this has really awakened the private sector. This has awakened the CEOs. This has awakened, the business community, suggesting that it's actually beneficial, profitable, and economically it makes sense to have more women in our organizations, to empower women in leadership. And that's why they're actively doing a lot of initiatives now on empowering women, on creating inclusive organizations, on welcoming women back to the workspace. So I think we have lots and lots of examples, and lots of good promising practices are emerging from Pakistan as well. And I'm very happy that multiple initiatives that I'm doing are cross-pollinating those best practices too. So it's just very simple that it's now a business case. So it's in the best interest of the CEOs and the private sector to take up gender inclusivity within their mainstream.
Okay, coming to Roman, what are your plans? What are the plans of your organization? What are the initiatives that you have taken here? And what are your plans to expand all these initiatives in this regard?
There are truly a multitude, especially during the pandemic, we all went, and the employees went through a very stressful period. But even now, this continues, and we're trying to address also that with flexible working hours for the employees, which improves their productivity, we've observed. We have a very interesting initiative that we started with females that for a variety of reasons chose to stay home or go back home for personal reasons. And we reached out to them to see if anybody wanted to come back on a time basis, on a project basis. And we did a very small project, and we had 400 females which said, yes, I want to come back. We called it Make Your Comeback, and we recruited some of those on a project basis. And I can't wait to do more of these, because I repeat, we need talent, and it's there. And we will continue doing this. A small initiatives such as, again, for well-being, it's important to have happy employees, because I think if you have happy employees, you will have happy customers, ultimately. It does work. is, for example, a power hour. There is 1 hour during the day in which your boss will not bother you, because that's for you, for making your phone calls, for taking care of your matters,
one I
your
like.
bank, all that stuff. So you can book in your agenda a power hour, and I'll try my best not to bother. So they're small things, but people do appreciate it.
Good.
The power hour thing is something very creative and I like it. Acha Fiza, how can brands create a more gender sensitized image, enhance their appeal to potential female candidates to join in?
So there are lots of things that brands can do for the gender sensitized image. There's the demand side and there's the supply side, right? So on the demand sides, the first and foremost thing is to consciously create that demand. To say that, okay, especially for senior positions, we're going to actively go out and source female professionals, because it's not that they don't exist, it's that you have to put in extra effort to go out there and source them, right? I'm personally working with headhunting agencies that specialize in female talent pool and in female professionals. So if you don't find them from Pakistan, source them from UAE, source them from somewhere else. Get them to come to Pakistan, put in that extra effort, you know, to get them to the top, because the more women you have on the top, the more that whole value chain will be created. Then lots of other things you can do on infrastructure, you know, female toilets, so having separate spaces for women to also relax, daycare centers, with the nursing centers. Many of our organizations are doing that as well now. And then policy level, maternity leaves, coming back to work after you've had children. It's a natural phenomenon we need to understand, and we need to facilitate women to be able to come back to work after they've gone through that family round. So lots of things on the demand side, and then on the supply side as well, because you'll be surprised, Pakistan is a very unique country in that narrative, and I've always been shocked with these statistics. 50% of our graduates from universities are women. Only 10% of them end up working in the workforce. Medical universities, it's even worse, where 70%, 60% are female, and only 10 to 15% of them end up in the workforce. So there goes a lot of role of mentorship, a lot of role of supporting those women, those young graduates, to translate them into formal employment. And then reaching out to them. This has to be more of a push strategy rather than a pull strategy at this point, which requires extra effort, extra commitment, and extra engagement by the private sector.
And finally, Philip, your final comments.
Well, I think it doesn't have to stay within the boundaries of a company.
Yeah.
I want to copy good ideas from other companies, and I want them to copy from myself. And actually, it shouldn't remain within the workspace. If we really want to make a difference, we have to go out. And therefore, we have to recognize that we want an inclusive society, not only an inclusive company, because then you haven't solved much of the problem. And in this direction, I think many of us have to recognize that we have unconscious biases. It's not easy to recognize, but we have to acknowledge this. But also we tried through some CSR work, especially with women. We've trained 300 women which wanted to set up their own businesses to be supported by digital platforms. So you're addressing the digital world and those people who want to work from home. I think it's about cross-fertilizing, learning from others, and having champion companies that the others want to imitate, because otherwise you're making a small difference, and we have to do it all together.
Good.
Right.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you, Fiza. It's a very important initiative that you're working on.